round 6. It is the last round of Swiss at the Total Escape Games Xwing Regional. For the first time today, I'm not lonely. We are welcoming John Grasser to the booth. He was at table 1 to start the round and is drawn in. Congrats.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So, we have a pair of players here at 4-1, a win and in match. Doker, Cody, Duffin on the left, John Conley on the right. Let's talk about these lists. What are you thinking?
Well, looking at Cody's list, we'll start over there. I like Zuckus with the Fulham FCS Tractor Beam Mist Hunter because he can really lock out tokens with his ability, right? He can grab it and just do his thing with Fulham, roll the extra die, lock out his focus, so you can't really modify the dice as much as you should be able to do, which is very interesting. FCS makes it a little bit more possible, right? Contractor Scout, we've seen that all day. I've been playing that all day. It's a good ship. It does things. The Trandoshan Savers, very interesting take on a party bus. It doesn't have the traditional upgrades that you would see on there. The Greedo with Boba Fett, I think, is actually a really interesting combo with Dengar to make sure everything just piles through. And it's a nice looking list. On the other side, we have John Conley's list. It's a very common list. We see it a lot of now. The only thing we're going to see a little bit different on his is he has Electronic Baffle on Yor, which I think is interesting to help keep him stopped and help kind of control where the shuttle's going to be moving every turn, which I think could be very interesting. And it makes it very hard on Cody because he can constantly stop and he doesn't know exactly where he's going to go because he'll never have that stress on him to kind of predict where that shuttle's not going to go or go, in the case may be.
Yes. We're going to talk real quick. Up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, there is a bright orange conversion up there. That is a K-Wing and a Mist Hunter that Doker put together and repainted. It is being played as a Mist Hunter despite those great big K-Wing munitions wings. We just wanted to cover that so that you're not confused as to what you're looking at. Players have put down the dials for round 1 here.
I really, really love that tailspin conversion.
It's
really cool. It's really cool.
It's gorgeous. We're on a webcam. We're pretty far above the table to see it all, so you can't really see the
intricacies of the conversion that he's done. It's very, very well done. Very well done.
We're going to take it down to the table now where the players are going to start playing this game. We get a handshake from Doker and John Conley, and a Trandoshan Slaver is going to start us off. What are we expecting, John?
I'm expecting the shuttle to not move on Conley's side, and he's going to kind of move up Whisper to try and grab an arc, and he's going to go Omega Leader forward, kind of feel out where he's going to go. I'm actually kind of surprised the Trandoshan Slaver here didn't stop and just have his other ships come in front and hold the Trandoshan Slaver back. And in doing so, really, really give him a nice benefit with that huge arc that he has on it. So we'll see what he does. I expect some sort of flank maneuver with one of his ships, though.
And that scout's going 4 forward is what Doker calls out here.
Like I said, I think that's going to be his flanker. He's going to bring in the Slaver on 1. He's going to have the scout on the other side and just kind of 2-man pincer attack with Zuckus in the middle to kind of cause trouble. Or a ruckus, as it would say it.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
We're punny up here, folks. We are punny.
Punny, wow. That was... Oh, he does not stop. He goes aggressive with the shuttle. Very interesting.
So we've got to move forward and a focus token from Captain Yor there. Omega Leader's next up here. A little 2 move forward. Where does he want Omega Leader to end up looking at Doker's list here?
Well, he wants him to be the last guy on the table every single time. Every time you play Omega Leader, you want him to be the last guy on the table because one-on-one, he is unstoppable. So I think he's just going to try to keep him alive long enough while pinking and pointing at damage to not get, torpedo shots on him to make him really good.
The chat channel has been talking to Kyle down in the booth all day. They'd like Kyle to change to round 6, and Kyle changes to round 6.
Shocking.
It's like we've crowdsourced the entire piece of coverage here.
Thank you, Rockhart, for the name on the plane. It's called Sea Duck. Google always wins.
Whisper doing Whisper things. I have watched John Conley fly Whisper what feels like hundreds of times at this point, and I don't know that anybody's better at it.
He's very good. I played him at Hoth in round 4. I played him round 4 at Hoth. He was a very good player. He knows his stuff. Uh-oh. Here we go. We got a picture of the sea duck up here. Doing it upright. I like this.
The tech guys. Tech guys are the MVPs today. I could have stayed home and just let them do that.
Right?
We are back to Dials, which is when we remind you, folks, this presentation is brought to you by Total Escape Games and Back to Dials. Check them out at www.facebook/backtodials.
And a big thanks to Nighthawk Brewery for hosting us. This is awesome.
Beer makes everything better.
Right. Very, very well done today. I'm having their milk stout right now. Very nice. I recommend it if you're ever in the area.
If you're ever in Denver.
Yeah.
We've got dials down for 2 of the 3 Imperials and 2 of the 3 Scum, it looks like. There's that last Scum dial. Whisper does not decloak. Does not appear Whisper cloaked last turn.
He didn't cloak last turn.
Okay.
He doesn't want to have the restriction of having to decloak later, potentially. Whereas if he isn't cloaked, he's still wide open on his dial to kind of do whatever he wants, and then to finally get him into that position where he does whisper things.
Little move from the Slaver and a focus token.
Big 4. And here's the Scout coming in. A little bit of a flank action.
Scout makes a long bank maneuver. Are you at all worried here that Omega Leader might end up in a bad spot as opposed to that Scout right now?
Actually, no. I'm actually more concerned for the Scout being in a bad spot because I think because the Scout feels like he's kind of out on his own up here in the middle of the table. The Trandoshan Slaver didn't come in to support him to really push home the damage on Omega Leader and potentially Whisper also.
Captain Yor does go full stop, take a stress token there. Omega Leader with a 2 bank right at that Scout.
Going to take the target lock on the contracted Scout, help stop some of the dice modification that he has.
And the players were just discussing that on the table. John Conley's reading Omega Leader to Doker there. Omega Leader will not allow him to modify dice. He can still fire plasma torpedoes here, but he can't modify those dice at all.
It's a big deal.
It doesn't feel worth even firing them when I can't modify them.
Absolutely.
Little move forward from Zuckus there, putting him to the left of that Slaver. Whisper going 3 forward here.
4 forward.
4 forward here.
Big money. He's in there.
It's going to give that Scout a shot at Whisper. Still a spot where I'm not thrilled about torpedoes.
Especially with the evade token that he just took. Do we know who Agent Callus is targeting?
I did not hear who Agent Callus is targeting, but I bet that Kyle can find out for us real easily.
Okay.
Kyle, let's find out who
Agent
Callus is targeting, please.
Whisper makes an attack on the Scout. 2 crits. Oh, he's over on. It's over on Mr. Tailspin, the Sea Duck.
It is on Zuckus. Agent Callus is on Zuckus. Omega Leader, range 2 at the Scout.
Something might have just happened here. Whisper did not take the focus, and he did not get the target, or did not do his target lock, and did not cloak. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we'll find out.
And John Conley just realized what you were talking about.
Now, let's see what Cody does, because technically, it's a he already passed the opportunity phase.
It is not a required trigger, and as you've seen throughout the day here, we will interrupt a game when it misses a required trigger.
This could be huge.
Agromech target lock onto Whisper.
If he didn't let him cloak, so this could be a big shot.
3 hits and a focus. Spending a target lock to re-roll. Still 3 hits and a focus.
Trying to drill up the critical hit there in case he can get it through.
We have 3 hits on Whisper. We're going to lift those out of the box.
Hitting guidance chips.
We use Palpatine on 1. We spend an evade token. That is a torpedo shot that's going to take both of those shields off Whisper. Whisper's going to go 2 shields to 0 shields.
That's big.
Right away here.
That's big, and that's because of a missed opportunity for the cloak and the focus.
The loss of 2 dice to 4 dice is huge there.
Also, it's going to also make a big difference this next turn with positioning and maneuvering for Whisper, who won't have the decloak to kind of move him around and kind of get
an asteroid.
Yeah, because that asteroid's staring him down now. That's not a good look.
The straight template is still going to fit in there. So he has options to move straight, but he really wanted to decloak to the right here, didn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely wants to decloak to the right and keep the pressure on the scout, right? But it doesn't look...
And we were talking about Agent Callus, and we missed whatever damage that scout took. So the scout's shield and hull count on your screen aren't correct right now, but we'll get that fixed for you. We believe he lost 2 shields there, so the scout should have 2 shields and 5 hull left on it. Dials down for Omega Leader, it appears. Dials down for 2 of the 3 on the left there for Cody.
It'll be interesting to see if Omega Leader actually tries to go in and make contact with the scout or not. To try to help mitigate some damage potentially. I don't know. Or if he's going to come around to try to get on the Slaver and get get on the Zuckuss side.
And looking here, we've already talked about how Whisper can go straight. The template's going to clear that asteroid okay. I don't think the same's true of Omega Leader. It looks like Omega Leader will plow into an asteroid with a straight maneuver.
Yep, absolutely.
You expecting a hard left turn here then?
Potentially. I think a bank 2 may clear that rock, and that could be an interesting idea if he wants to make contact with the scout. Because if he makes contact with the scout, that could make it could help mitigate some shots coming in.
Slaver with a hard left turn. And a focus token. Contracted scout with a little 2 bank there.
Coming in for the bump on Omega Leader, it looks like.
It does appear that was the plan, looking to bump Omega Leader here.
Yeah.
We're going to see where Captain Yor goes now. He has a stress token from his full stop last turn. Scout takes a focus token.
I would expect a banky 1 out of him. Yeah. Oh, straight 1.
Forward 1. We're going to see that Lambda shuttle fire at a Slaver here. We're going to see the Slaver maybe fire back at the Lambda shuttle.
I would doubt that. I think the Slaver's probably going to go after Omega Leader or something to that effect. He's going to try to get rid of those aces. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he tries to go after Palpatine. If I were in this situation, I'm going after Palpatine every single time. There's no doubt in my mind. You have to get rid of him. Big sweeping 3.
A big hard turn that is not going to clear anything. We're going to end up with Omega Leader plowing into a scout here.
Maybe on the rock. I don't know.
And on the rock, I believe.
That looks like it might be in.
John Conley's head of hair there for you.
Brought to you by Back to Dials.
Brought to you by Back to Dials. Back to Dials brings you John Conley's hair. So Omega Leader hits the scout and an asteroid. No action. We're going to get a die roll here from John Conley into the box. And they'll fix that in the future and roll into those boxes for us.
Please.
Three straight from Zuckuss. And a focus token. He may have an opportunity here with both the Slaver and Zuckuss to put some serious damage on Captain Yor.
All of them are in arc for Yor, and it's not even close. Yor could get lit up like a Christmas tree right here, and it'd be really interesting.
There's a long 3-bank maneuver from Whisper.
Could try to barrel roll in.
Gonna try and barrel. Why would you barrel roll in here?
He might be able to pick up the arc. I don't think he will, but
he cloaks, choosing not to take any combat here.
Which is, I actually think, a good call. It sets him up better for next turn. I know he's not getting a shot. That kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's kind of the penalty for what happened last turn.
Yes, it is. Zuckuss is at range 3.
He's going to roll 4 dice on this.
He's
one,
rolling 4 dice.
Yeah, he's going in.
Denver. Nope. We had 2 hits and 2 blanks and some confusion.
He thought he had a target lock because he has fire control system.
He thought he had Dengar there. He had his
okay.
Dengar location
Okay.
confused. So 2 hits here. 2
natural
evades
evades.
from John Conley.
That dodgy shuttle.
The dodgy. I don't expect we'll see that very much more during this match.
You say that. You'd be surprised how many things that thing dodges. It's kind of dumb.
Whisper is cloaked and doesn't have anybody to shoot at. Omega Leader ran into the scout and does not have anybody to shoot at. This round of combat doesn't appear to have gone John Conley's way. This is shuttle at Zuckuss. Focus to make it 3 hits. Zuckuss will spend his focus token. Zuckuss is going to lose the first 2 shields. We're going to go down from 4 shields to 2 shields here. Scout is firing a plasma torpedo at Captain Yor. Expected result is expected. Gets a target lock. Players are checking shortest route.
See if it clips that rock or not. Is it there or is it?
He does have to go there. There's a slight angle to Captain Yor at the bottom of your screen, so we are through a rock. Guidance chips to get a second one. Spend the target lock. Why would you not do this in the other order, John?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And from what I can tell from the first time, he forgot guidance chips altogether. So I'm very confused by this.
2 hits and a crit. On the attack, John Conley has rolled his 2 dice.
And he Palpatine.
He's going to Palpatine into a second evade. Captain Yor is going to lose 2 shields here from 5 to 3. Slaver, range 2 at Palpatine. Dice must be rolled in the box. None of this matters. Dice must be rolled in the box. They're going to move those. We've got 3 hits. We're going to teach Doker to roll dice in the box. The box has my logo on it. I think it's cool.
Shameless self-promotion. Well done.
It appears that Captain Yor loses 2 more shields there. He'll go from 3 to 1 now.
Now that the contract is out, doesn't have any more torpedoes, I think it's going to go into blocking mode. It's going to really try to get in the way of Whisper and Omega Leader and just try to stop whatever they want to do. I would expect a hard 1, potentially, to set up into the next previous turns.
A hard 1 to the pilot's left here, or a hard 1 to the pilot's right?
To the... this way.
A hard 1 to the pilot's left.
Pilot's left, thank you.
Does that block anything here?
No, but it's setting him up for the future, or he can try to sloop or something to this effect that may or may not help. Just the problem is any other maneuver he does, unless he's just trying to go after the shuttle, which is a very real possibility here, right? But everything else is going to be going after the shuttle deliberately, which that may be his target. And if that's the case, then a nice straight 4 clears the rock, right, and gets him a nice focus token so he can keep going on the shuttle.
Is there a thought at all here to taking that shuttle and moving it straight as far as it can go to try and push it past the Slaver's arcs?
I would actually think more like a Banky 3 to bump the Slaver.
Okay.
To guarantee that bump on the Slaver.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
To guarantee the bump on the slaver, so now it's only 2 guys shooting you. The problem with that is Zuckuss is trailing behind. So Zuckuss range 1 is going to be chucking 5 dice at a shuttle. And I don't care how dodgy your shuttle is, it ain't pulling it out.
In the chat channel, they're saying they can see that scout making a 2 sloop here.
It fit. I think it fits. Because it's far enough away from the rock. I think the sloop fits. The problem is why you're slooping. What are you going to gain from doing that sloop? The arc doesn't matter. You don't have auto thrusters. So just use it. It's a 2 dice turret. So why try to fit it in there? The only thing you're going to get from that is potentially blocking for next turn. But I understand what you're saying.
We have dials down for all 3 Imperial ships. We are waiting on Doker for both Zuckuss and the Slaver right now. The players didn't know you were up here till just now. They just asked if John Grasser's up here too.
Fair enough.
Whisper's decloaking forward.
Yep.
Is this the right move here?
He's going to hard one. It's going to do a traditional
Whisper doing whisper things?
Yeah, it's a whisper move. No surprises here. There's nothing he can do about it, so why not?
Doesn't the hard one, though, put Whisper in a little danger to that rock next turn?
No, I don't.
Because you're
going to
just cloak again at the end.
Yeah, and even if he does the hard one, and there's no shot, because he'll know because he's moving so late in the turn that he'll be able to cloak it up. So it won't be. It's not a risk at all.
Okay. So we see the Slaver make a bank maneuver right at the Lambda shuttle.
Yep. We got a.
We see the Scout going bank 2 or sloop 2?
Bank 2. It's a green. Oh, no, sloop 2.
I was going to say, if you could tell that that's green, your eyes are better than mine.
Yeah, well, you know. Is that clear?
The sloop fits in there microscopically.
Well done. That is a very, very well flown Scout.
Or dumb luck.
No. He's 4-1.
He's 4-1.
It's regional. You know what I mean?
Dumb luck's not likely here.
I'll give him skill. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt of skill.
That's fair.
Ooh, does that fit in there?
Not even close. No. So that Lambda's going to plow into the Slaver.
The bank 3 that we had discussed earlier would have cleared that. It would have been enough. It would have straightened it up a little bit, and it would have been far enough that he would have jumped the Slaver. And the Slaver's not very agile. I don't think I'm breaking any rules here or any news. It's not the most agile ship in the game.
So we go with the bank 2, which actually results in him going forward about a quarter of a normal one.
Right.
Bumps the Slaver, doesn't get an action. I think a lot rides on where Zuckuss ends up here.
Zuckuss is coming in hard because he thought Slaver was going to bump him, so he was going all in with that, and he's bringing Zuckuss in, I bet, really hard. Get that 4 or 5 dice attack.
So a Mega Leader makes a hard 3 to the left. Takes an evade token, it appears. No, a focus token.
Is he taking a focus, or is he considering moving the target lock?
They're discussing torpedo count right now. Getting confirmation here that we are out.
We should be.
We are out of torpedoes. Now we have Zuckuss.
1 straight. Wow.
1 straight.
Wow.
That will not get him a 5 dice attack.
No, I am very surprised. And then he barrel rolls.
And a barrel. Does the barrel roll set up a block next turn? And why would you ever want to block with Zuckuss?
Well, a couple things. First of all, he forgot fire control system last turn on the shuttle. That should be there, right? He doesn't, for whatever reason, chose not to do it. Whoa, hard 3. Very interesting from Whisper.
Big long move.
John Conley is very good with Whisper. He does a lot of things that aren't conventional, and it makes it very hard to predict where Whisper's doing. This is another case of that. I've noticed this is Hoth, and he did very well against me doing these things. Like, it's very hard to predict where he's going to go, and because of it, it's tough.
So after that three-turn maneuver there, he's got a choice here to make on an action. He has a range 3 shot at Zuckuss now, yes?
I don't know. I'd have to be closer to the table to see that.
He's barrel rolling.
Away.
Away and forward a little.
A little bit. I think he's thinking maybe I get a range 3 shot on Zuckuss. Worst case, I'm set up next turn and I'm behind everybody. Just out.
Just out. That barrel roll does pull him out of range 3 of the scout as well, though, here.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Why would he? I don't understand why he would be so concerned about the 2 dice from the scout, especially with a rock involved.
2 dice, range 3, rock in the way. It favors him there.
Yeah. Considering he would potentially have a shot with cloak and focus.
Zuckuss firing at Palpatine. No tokens on Palp. We have a focus and a blank die in the box.
Let's see if Zuckuss actually remembers to take a target lock.
Takes only 1 damage. Zuckuss does not remember his target lock. It seems like fire control systems might be a couple of wasted points here.
Got to write your hand on stuff like that. You can't miss them. Can't miss stuff like that.
Omega Leader at Zuckuss. He spends the focus here for 2 hits.
Zuckuss is going to take potentially 2 damage.
Gonna juke that.
Going to juke that to 2 eyes. No focus token. Looks like 2 damage is going to get through.
Zuckuss is going to take 2 damage. That'll take the shields off of Zuckuss here. No shields and 4 hull left on Zuckuss. Lambda Shuttle is going to be firing at Zuckuss here. Also range 3. They cannot fit that range 2 ruler in there.
Trying to fit it in there. It's 3.
It is range 3. He did not palp here, so we've got a hit and a crit after palp crits there. 1 evade. Crit goes through here. The crit is a structural damage.
That's important. That could make a difference.
You want to remind our viewers what it does?
Structural damage is reducing the agility by 1. The important part here is now Zuckuss technically has no agility, which could be a huge, huge deal with Whisper or Omega Leader or even Yor shooting at him next turn.
Doker needing to remember to roll in the box. We've got a crit and 2 focus there. Spends the focus, takes a target lock. We have hit, crit. 2 hits and a crit going through on Captain Yor here. We'll see what this crit is.
This could be bad.
The crit is a loose stabilizer.
It's okay. It's not so bad.
So his white maneuvers are going to cause him to stress out now.
It's not so bad.
Captain Yor lost 3 of his 5 hull in that exchange. He's down to 2 hull.
Slaver didn't get to shoot, which is a big deal. It's a big hitter for Cody.
So we are back to dials. Whisper's dial goes down very quickly.
He knew what he was doing last turn. After the barrel roll, he had an idea of where he wanted to go, what he was looking to do with Whisper. He's going to hold Whisper and just try to win the game with him. I really feel that way. That and Omega Leader, just ace it out at this point.
They're talking about the Slaver's dial there, just discussing 2 turns and 3 turns. Are they red? Are they white? Doker provides that information to John, so John can plan a little better. That's what I love about Xwing. We don't try to hide things. We don't screw around with it. It's all public information.
Xwing is built on the community.
Yes.
I can't stress that enough. The best time in this game is not at the table. It's not after the table. It's literally the dinner afterwards.
It's after the table. It's after the beer and the dinner.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's the dinner afterwards.
Yes.
It's the getting together.
Yes.
We get together like at Worlds. We get together at Nationals, Regionals, everything like that. It's by far and away the highlight of the day. I could lose every single game, And that beer afterwards makes it all okay. That's why I drive 6 hours to play this game.
And we're sitting here at regionals. I hadn't seen you since regionals last year.
Right.
Indiana's in the room. Virginia's in the room.
Yep.
Utah's in the room. Kansas is in the room. Wyoming's in the room.
Yep.
It's awesome. 6 and 8 and 10-hour drives and
Absolutely.
a flight across the country to play a game.
Absolutely.
Because the people are awesome.
It's the people. The people drive this community. Unlike other communities we've seen in the world, this one is completely driven.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you okay there?
I'm all right, yeah.
That was pretty magical. But no, it's driven by the community. Very much. I can't stress that enough. You are absolutely right on that.
I get to go play a regional in a couple weeks. I'll be in Salt Lake.
Hey. I'm going to be in Plano the same weekend.
I'm going to play with 40 people. You're going to play with 140
40 people. Yeah. I've been banking my buy for that one because I'm like, it's going to be 7 or 8 rounds. It's going to be a test.
You're
It's
going to want
grueling.
75 minutes off.
So
Dials went down.
Yor is very in an interesting place here. I actually think Yor is going to go quick. He's going to go fast. He's going to try to drop the shot on the Slaver completely. He's going to try to get in there to muck up both Zuckuss and the Slaver so he doesn't have any shots. So now he's only dodging the Scout. Potentially dodging the Scout because that rock's not in a good space for that Scout.
So Captain Yor's dial goes down. I still don't see a dial for Zuckuss here.
Or we don't see a dial for Zuckuss. And
Or Omega Leader.
Omega Leader doesn't have a dial down either.
What is he thinking with Omega Leader here?
I think he's thinking he needs to get rid of Zuckuss this turn. This turn, Zuckuss has to go down. He has to start getting ships down, and he has to protect. He wants to protect Palpatine, right? The longer Palpatine's on the table now, he's on borrowed time. If he lives through this turn, he's on borrowed time, and he's going to try to keep him on borrowed time.
So, just so that everybody's aware, Doker does have initiative in this game. So, Zuckuss fires before Whisper. Of course, it doesn't really matter because if Whisper kills Zuckuss, Zuckuss would stay on the table till we finish 9s and get the shot off.
The important part there actually is Whisper will not have his dice modified by Palpatine because Palpatine will be removed because he is not at the same initiative. That could be important here.
So you're expecting Captain Yor to attempt to make a blocking maneuver on Zuckuss
I
here?
really, really do. I think that staying where he's at is not a good call. I think he needs to go in there and just be troublesome. I'm not saying he's going to be successful at it, but I'm saying he just needs to get in there and muck it up, right? Try to dodge the Slaver, because the Slaver, I don't know what he's going to do to try to get out of that. That's a bad spot.
Is the Slaver going to full stop here?
No, if anything, he'll green straight 1, because it's a bump. It's the same thing as a stop without the stress, right?
Makes sense.
So we'll see.
We turn the dial over. He zeros.
Stops, which is
Two
really
players
interesting.
are discussing the fact that if Captain Yor also full stops, they're not touching anymore.
Oh, so he's thinking that the shuttle is not going to move.
That's what he might be hoping for.
Interesting. That's I wouldn't put Yor on stopping here
I would not put Yor on stopping here.
ever. Like I just wouldn't. It's not the right
If
call.
I'm Captain Yor, I want to get the hell out of Dodge.
Scout being ultra aggressive right here, trying to get the block on Omega Leader, which makes me think Zuckuss is going to come in and trying to get a shot on Omega Leader. Why else would you try to block him here?
Is there a thought process maybe that with Zuckuss moving down towards the bottom of the screen a little, Omega Leader would have been on a short move and he'll get blocked here and not be able to fire at Zuckuss?
Maybe. I'm not convinced on that because I think Zuckuss is going to be just like Zuckuss is dead here to Whisper. Whisper's going to do the job. It's not going to be.
So Captain Yor goes 1 bank to the left as opposed to straight.
Not dodging the Slaver's Arc, which is really questioning. I really question that. I don't understand
the
it completely.
2 straight or the 3 straight here.
2 straight, I don't think is far enough. The 3 straight might be, or even the 3 bank. Back to what we were talking last turn, right? The 3 bank would have pulled him out. Maybe. I don't know.
It would have been real borderline, I think, regardless.
Yeah.
The size of these bases and the angle, and I love
It's
the
tough to see
angle,
down
but we're
here.
far enough off that maybe the Slaver still has a shot, even if he goes straight.
Yeah, but
And
the 3
plows
bank,
into Zuckuss.
the 3 bank on the stress, right, pulls him where he needs to be. Although he doesn't make a beautiful call on Zuckuss.
Yes.
Beautiful call
He
on Zuckuss.
blocks Zuckuss perfectly. Zuckuss with an aggressive maneuver there to K-turn, I would assume, right? No? Why would you... That straight maneuver, if he doesn't get blocked, Where's he going to go next?
Has to be a K turn. I didn't see the dial, so I can't comment on that.
Big long move from Whisper.
No surprise there at all.
Whisper's going to have 4 dice at Zuckuss.
Or the Slaver, or
And
even
then going to get a focus
Yeah.
token and a...
He'll be fine. It's going to be a 2-die attack coming. It looks like it's not range 1 on the Scout.
This
so
is
it's a
range
2-die
1.
attack.
This is range
that
1.
range 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been looking at this all day like this gentleman
I have
sitting
been
next to
looking
me.
at this all day. That's range 1.
He's a superstar, not me.
So it'll be a 3 dice attack, but you're going to have 4 dice after you cloak. You're going to have a focus token after you fire.
Right. And if he takes the evade here, which he can use, he's going to get the free focus coming back. He's going to get the free focus on Zuckuss because he's going to have Callus flipping that 1 die, which is important.
So it was an attempted K turn. A stress token goes down on Zuckuss there.
Very interesting. I think that's too bold. It's too...
The players are just confirming that there is structural damage face up on Zuckuss. So Zuckuss has 0 agility here.
It's big.
Whisper focuses. Oh, is Whisper gonna attack the Scout here?
No, he's just measuring range. He's taking his shots, looking what he has, checking out options.
Range 1.
I'm a big fan of clean your plate. When you have something that's just a little bit left, you take it out. You overshot. I did that last game.
I don't think he is. 5 dice at the Scout here.
I could not disagree with this move any more than I did.
What if you go 4 hits and a crit?
I still don't agree with it. A dead ship tells no tales.
He is palping a hit into a crit to go 3 hits and 2 crits here. Scout gets nothing. Scout's going to lose. Yeah, so 2 shields come off. Oh, the shields were already gone.
1 shield was already gone because he took 1 damage from the rock.
We have a console fire.
Okay.
That is down to 1 hull. No. Yes. That is down to 1 hull. Oh.
Does
And
John
Conley remembers.
Nice job. Well
John
done.
Conley remembers to focus and
Target lock.
target lock and
Do all of his shenanigans.
Omega Leader hit the Scout. So he's got a range 3 at Zuckuss.
So he'll do a hit
crit.
He will do a hit crit on Zuckuss because there's nothing Zuckuss can do with juke
what,
and
what?
all that.
Hit. The crit is... The
Direct?
crit is a direct
Whoa.
hit. Zuckuss is
Direct?
off the table.
Hit right there. That is huge.
And there goes the gray bar telling you that Zuckuss' day is done. Scout has 1 hull left. Slaver hasn't been touched, but it's slow and it's derpy and it has no rear arc. Is this game feeling pretty comfortable for John Conley now?
Yeah. And if you would have asked me maybe 5 turns ago, it wasn't looking good.
Wasn't.
And like that, he's a good flyer. He knows his things.
So the Scout is the next thing to shoot here.
The Scout has to shoot your. You got to get Palpatine off the table. The longer Palpatine's on the table, the better he is.
You would take a 2 dice attack on
I would have done it already.
Palpatine.
I would have been shooting on
Doker is taking
Palpatine way
3
over.
dice at Whisper here.
That's not right.
1 hit.
It's 1 hit.
Here come 4 green dice and a focus token. And Whisper is not going anywhere. That Scout did nothing this turn.
Yeah. Slaver probably going to get the job done here, but
Dengar's going to get to re-roll 2.
2 hits.
We have 2 hits. Anything but a blank, he gets the evade.
Yeah.
So we have a crit coming. Blinded Pilot is the crit.
And honestly, at this point, it's a blank crit.
It's a blank crit.
Yours never shooting again.
Captain Yor goes from 2 hull to 1 hull in the exchange, but now has an opportunity to run the hell away.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has to hard 2 next turn, which is going to help out Cody a lot. Cody knows where he's headed, right? Because he has to hard 2 away from the edge of the board there.
Well, the Slaver is stressed after the full stop.
Yep.
So it's going to be moving forward in some fashion this turn.
Right.
Do you have to go hard? You can't one bank?
No, I think he's too close to the board, and I think he would fly off the board at a 1 bank.
You think a 1 bank takes him off the
It's
board?
very difficult to tell from this. If I was on the table, I could tell you for sure, but
We're looking down at the table real quickly. I think a 1 bank fits.
1 bank fits. A 1 bank fits. And actually, for those at home playing the board game at home, if you put a 1 straight maneuver between the edge of your ship and the edge of the map, if that fits, a 1 bank fits. If you know what that 1 ship base looks like, you know what a boost looks like every single time next to the board, how close you need to be or how far away you are, so you can always do it.
Bernasty asked me a question in there. The overlay is not publicly available. That was designed by our tech guys. It's in very early beta right now. We have some plans for it. We're going to shrink it a little because we understand that we're losing a lot of screen to the overlay. We're also going to be replacing these pilot skill numbers with dead skulls when a pilot dies.
To answer your questions about did Boba Fett was not used, and Boba Fett was not used to kill the Emperor. That's another great question of why something else that happens. There have been some interesting decisions in this game.
The failing to put
FCS 2 turns in a row,
and the failing to cloak and get your focus token resulted in Whisper losing 2 shields.
Right.
Thankfully, Whisper's still on the table.
Yeah, nothing critically happened with it. Also, with the contracted scout, he was doing wrong orders with guidance chips and target locks and things like that. So
guidance chipping before re-rolling on the target lock feels like it's just bad value.
It's not good. It's absolutely not. You want to re-roll as many dice as you can to get as many hits, and then you get your guidance chips in there.
Whisper going a straight forward decloak.
Now, what he's trying to do here is he's trying to block the scout. He thinks the scout's going to try to turn in to make sure that he gets some shots in on Yor to make sure Yor dies in this case. Because the maneuvering that he has to do with the YV666 isn't the best.
Correct. The Slaver is a less than impressive dial.
And we're going to back up right to the beginning of the game. I asked at the beginning of the game why he wasn't slow rolling with that Slaver. This is exactly the time where that slow rolling Slaver is so good.
Slaver's going to make a long bank maneuver. It's going to keep its stress token because that's a white maneuver.
He's just trying to get some distance.
He's going to get distance there. There's no doubt about that. We're going to see a straightforward move from the scout. It will not run into Whisper. I'm assuming that Whisper's making a bank back towards the Slaver here.
Absolutely. And he's probably using Yor to kind of protect to make sure he can't be blocked.
So 2 and 3 have both moved. We're on Captain Yor here, pilot skill 4.
Hard 2.
Hard 2. You called it.
Yeah.
That means Captain Yor is going to get to shoot a contracted scout, too.
With 1 health left.
Yeah.
With a Palpatine. It's not a bad look if we're playing the home game.
It's going to be, it appears to be range 3 through a rock. But it's better than not shooting at anything.
Right. They're bullets.
There goes Omega Leader.
Omega Leader's coming in for the kill.
Fits in front of that asteroid just barely.
Absolutely. Barrel roll out. He has a target lock. He has the evade. There's not much the scout can do here. If he rolls 2 hits and he has Palpatine on the table to make sure he's going to get a hit at least, there's not much that scout can do. He's going to take the focus.
Takes a focus.
Very interesting.
So he'll plow over that asteroid next turn.
Right.
But if it takes out the scout, who cares?
There's no other shot coming at Yor, right? If Palpatine's on the table, we know that won't be a hit. And he just, you know what? I'll take it. I'm going to come around, and I'm going to pick up that slaver eventually. Because Whisper's already in position. He's following.
And
she is following like a...
There's the Whisper. Move we expected. Whisper putting herself on the tail of that slaver. It's range 2, it appears.
It's a close one.
Moving some tokens.
Just 3. Wow.
It is just barely range 3 here. So we're going to get Whisper at the slaver to start things off.
Interesting. Callus didn't do anything much in this game.
Callus is on this slaver.
No, he's not. He was on Zuckuss.
Oh, he was on Zuckuss. You're
He
right.
modified one attack, no defense. It was, or not even that, because he shot the scout that turn.
Our dice went blurry, and I missed what happened on the green dice there.
I didn't see what happened on the green dice, but I saw that the attack was 3 hits and a crit. He gets the cloak. He gets the focus.
He took 2 hits there. Cloak token, focus token on Whisper. We spend a focus token to make this 2 hits. Omega leader to the scout.
And there's nothing the scout
They
can do on
forgot the
this.
console fire. Oh, doesn't matter. Scout dies to console fire.
Correct. Correct. Even without that, the 2 hits that Omega Leader just did on him, there's nothing they could do.
So the scout's dead to console fire. John Conley still has his entire team on this table.
Right.
Outside of Omega Leader, they're a little beat up. But if I just had Omega Leader against the Slaver, I'll take that every day of the week.
Absolutely.
As the Omega Leader player, I'm ecstatic.
Oh, and you have Palpatine, which
And
is
I
living
have
on borrowed
Palpatine.
time. Living on borrowed time, if we're honest.
And I'd be shocked if Palpatine or that Slaver are ever close enough together for it to matter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's going to bank 1. He's going to go nice and slow. He's in no rush. No rush. Driving Miss Daisy back here.
Yes. Driving Emperor Daisy?
Emperor Daisy.
Emperor Daisy. That's how I always
Daisy.
call her.
Good call. Good call.
Dial down for Emperor Daisy there. Dial down for that Slaver.
Slaver's doing a hard 3 just because the way the table's looking. Like he has to do the maneuvering.
That Slaver did take 4 shields last turn to go from 6 to 2.
Let's see. Bank 1s for green. Clear the stress.
Whisper decloaking straight forward.
Yep.
Gonna make sure that you're as close to range 1 as possible. The 5 dice that Whisper puts on big, stupid ships, the ability to eat them rapidly is why I love Whisper.
She's going to be chucking 5 dice because she's going to bank 2 right behind him.
There's that 2 left turn, 3 left turn, it looks like.
Yep. Big 3. Staying stressed.
Still stressed.
I'm not convinced that's the right call.
I think you need to clear that.
I think you need to clear it. I think you need to bank 1. I'm not saying you're going to do a whole lot with it, but it gives you a shot. You know, does some things.
That is a 2 straight for Captain Yor. It's the get the heck out of dodge move.
Okay. From up here,
flips the loose stabilizer down.
From up here, I can't tell that he would make that.
Omega Leader running into a rock. I believe we predicted this.
Huh. Shocking. I had no idea that he would ever run into
I know,
rock
like
there.
how he couldn't avoid that rock.
No. How does that work?
Not at all.
Is Yor going to eat the stress? No. Interesting. I thought Yor might eat the stress there so he can get the barrel roll over to get him closer to that slaver. Play aggressive.
He chooses not to. I think at this point in time, John Conley firmly believes that Whisper is going to win the game in 2 turns.
And all he's going to do is just hang back and let her do work.
Let her work.
Yeah.
5 red dice, no attack coming back, Palpatine available.
It's going to be 4, I think, this turn. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. There's a Palpatine to make sure it's a crit with the target lock. Oh, no.
It is range 2. It is still only 4 dice. Spend the focus instead of Palp here, so we get 4 hits. 1 of 8. That's going to be the last 2 shields, and because of Greedo, this is going to be face up. He cannot be assigned straight maneuvers now.
sure Greedo works that way.
No, first one is face up. Their first one is face up.
But it's not the first damage dealt to him. I think Greedos is the first damage dealt to you. The first damage dealt to him was done by shields. I'm not sold that it's correct.
It's not damage. They FAQ the difference between shields and damage.
Okay.
So the slaver lost half its hull there, if I'm understanding correctly, going down to 3 there, I believe.
You got a direct hit on him?
No.
So then it should be 4.
Okay, it's 4 according to Mr. Grasser here. No, he ended up with the I can't do straight maneuvers.
Right.
Having a conversation downstairs about blinded pilot. Apparently, you have to actually be able to attack something to flip blinded pilot down. That slaver actually has 5 hull left. We're just completely confused up here right now. The 2 players talk about blinded pilot, determine that there was an opportunity for Yor to attack, even though he didn't have a target to attack. They flipped the blinded pilot down. There is Captain Yor's maneuver dial. I'm pretty sure it says run away further. Twitch channel agrees with John Conley here. As long as you weren't on a rock, you had an opportunity to attack. Blinded pilot can be turned down here. Yeah. Doker says that Yor's one bank maneuver in that earlier spot ruined the whole game for him.
It was rather unpredicted. The K-turn there was very interesting.
If Yor had gone more aggressively straight across the table, the K-turn may get you past and behind Yor there.
Correct.
But the one bank that Yor made meant you plowed into him, and it was an important part of the game here.
It was, but the turn before that, when he should have banked 3, when he banked 2, he should have banked 3, he would have jumped the slaver, and that would have set it up even further away, so he would have had to K-turn, right? Like
and the K-turn clearly clears everything. It's a completed K-turn.
Yeah, it's a completely different game, I understand, so we can't really comment on that, but yeah.
But it's that K-turn clears everything. It doesn't block anybody. He gets to shoot then.
Sure. Something very interesting. John Conley did not cloak last turn, which is the right call here. He's in the right position. There's no reason for Whisper to put herself in a position where she can't do what she wants.
You
to
wouldn't
do.
have wanted to decloak straight forward?
No.
Okay.
Because he could stop, or he could do like a 1 straight, and then maybe I could bump, and I'm too fast, and then you're bumping him.
You're a lot
it's just not worth
faster
it.
Than him. Okay.
You're in a position. Don't force the cloak. There's no reason for it, and it's actually something players make mistakes in. I've heard a lot of players that play Whisper, including Brad Miller, who's very good with the list, D. Yoon, Drew Bishop, all of these guys, top level players. They do very well in Worlds. They say the same thing. You don't always cloak. There are times when you cloaking is actually a terrible idea, because it will then the next turn put you in the wrong spot.
Whisper with a 2 bank here, it appears. Takes a focus token.
I'm interested after the game when we had the interview with John Conley, because it looks like he's going to pull this one out.
I suspect that this is over pretty quickly here.
What he was thinking with the bank 1. Just to see what he was thinking, because I think it'd be very interesting to see what he thinks here, what he says.
Spending a target lock and a focus.
So we got 4 hits and a crit.
Helping.
2 crits.
2 hits, 2 crits. Blank dice from the slaver.
We got a hit, 2 crits. It's going to be either way, as long as we get 1 direct hit. No direct hits. We got looks like a major explosion.
Got a major explosion.
Nope. Oddly enough, a major explosion does not explode on a crit. Seems a little weird.
last crit was.
Is it Greedo? He gets 3 crits.
It is a Greedo. He gets 3 crits there.
I didn't see what the last crit was.
They have not called it from the floor yet to tell us what that last crit was.
The transition slaver is down to 1 hull after that exchange.
John. 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 What's that? Crit. What was the last crit? The last crit? Yeah.
Stunned pilot. So that last crit that they tossed in the box was a stunned pilot. Not sure that it matters here. I don't see this lasting past the next turn. Is there anything the slaver can do to survive another turn?
No. I can't see anything. A bank 3 could be really interesting here, because if he banks 3s, he could then bank himself into a position, maybe depending on what the shuttle does, maybe picks up a range 3 shot, and if he picks up a range 3 shot there, that could be to get that last damage on your maybe. The odds are, but he would have to live through the shooting phase, so I don't think that's possible.
And he goes straight there.
Okay.
Shuttle makes a full stop here, takes a stress token,
Good call. Takes no risks.
stays far out of the combat,
Yep.
but keeps Palpatine right where he needs Palpatine to be.
Yeah.
Omega Leader with a big long turn here is going to also get to shoot at the slaver.
It's not the best look for the slaver right here.
No. Whisper pulls in behind it. You've got Whisper, 4 dice behind it. You've got Omega Leader, dice to its left. We
Checking
got
for
John
rock.
Conley with a purple laser. I haven't seen a purple one. That's kind of spiffy.
He's just showing up.
Range 2, but it looks like it's through a rock.
Spends a target lock.
And
Spends a
focuses, and
It will make
doesn't
no
matter
difference.
what these dice do. Doker extends his hand. John Conley goes ahead and takes this game 100-0.
I'm really impressed with John in this one. He pulled it out of his hat. At the beginning, we sat down, we looked at it without the cloak, with behind the rock. I'm like, this is not a good look for Whisper.
There were some messy plays the second turn of the game.
Yeah.
And he came back from it.
Yeah.
This match was table 10.
Yeah.
These were a pair of one-loss players. John Conley needed the win. He needed a big MOV win. He got it, 100-0 win.
No, he actually gave up half points on the.
Oh, he's
going
gonna
to
give up half points on your.
Give up half points on your.
Okay.
But even then, it was well played. He didn't let it rattle him. He
At
didn't make a
5-1.
mistake and didn't let it rattle him. And that's a sign of a good player.
Yes. And at 5-1, I expect John Conley's going to join you in the top 8 here.
Yep. I look forward to it.
You
Maybe I
played,
get to play
you played
against
against Palpaces.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
this. I'm good with it. I'm good with this. I'm not worried about this.
Awesome. I'm John Stevens.
I'm
I've
Jonathan
been joined
Grasser.
this round by John Grasser. It has been awesome to have you here. We're going to sign off, head back downstairs, and talk to John Conley about this match.